Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd give a quick update on how my grade 3 exam went. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I think it was last year, last December, the last one of these. But yeah, I had my grade 3 exam on the 2nd of December, and it's something I've been working towards all year. I made the mistake after my grade 2 exam of not doing any sight reading. I think I went 2-3 months without doing hardly any sight reading, and then when I came back to it, it felt like my standard had dropped. So I started working on that alongside my pieces, obviously, and I felt like I was getting nowhere with it. And 3 months before the exam, I was stressed. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have it done in time." I was this close to pushing it back until March of next year, but I was given the advice by my piano teacher that I run the risk of my pieces running stale, and obviously 3 months playing, another 3 months playing the same piece, the same three pieces. It's a long time, and it probably will get quite boring. So I was doing, like, I was spending about an hour each day on sight reading. Felt like I was getting nowhere with it. Probably up until about 2 weeks before my exam, where something sort of clicked, and I started to see some improvement. But that's one thing I'm definitely not going to do when preparing for my grade 4, is not stop my sight reading. It's so important. But yeah, I needn't have worried though, because the sight reading test that I got in the exam was probably the easiest one, easier than any of the specimen tests I'd done in preparation for the exam. It was in C major, and only 2 of the bars were playing hands together. But we'll get onto that in a minute. The day of the exam, freezing, so I made sure to get to the venue quite early so I could warm up. So we went into the warm up room about 10 minutes before my exam. It was the same piano that was in there for the last 2 exams. It was quite poor, but and then it spent about 10-15 minutes warming up, and then I got called into the exam hall. It wasn't as bad as last time, where I was waiting for another 5 minutes before getting called into the exam hall. I was only waiting for a couple of minutes, so it wasn't too bad. So I'll go into the exam hall, sit down, have a quick go at the piano, start off with my scales. My hands were shaking. I don't know why. I've never been nervous in the past 2 practical exams that I've done. I've never been nervous. I've obviously been nervous and anxious, but I've never been so nervous that my hands are shaking. My hands were shaking. I couldn't control it. And the first few scales went all right, and then I got the examiner asked for a C minor scale in the right hand, and I messed it up. And then started again. And I was worried that I was gonna get docked quite a few marks for that. But I think I only got docked 3 marks on my scales. I think I got 18 out of 21. And then we moved on to the pieces. I did Minuet in G, Song of Twilight, and the Spanish guitar. I aced them. I was pretty confident with them. My hands were still shaking playing the pieces, but they went. I played them quite well. Only dropping 2 marks on all of them pieces. I got 28 out of 30 on me Minuet in G, and full marks 30 out of 30 on the other 2 pieces, which was something I was I was really happy with. Then of course we went on to the sight reading, which, as I said before, it was quite an easy sight reading test. It was in C major. Only 2 bars, I think, were hands together. It was only a 4 bar exercise, I think. I'm sure it was. But I played it perfectly they give you 30 seconds to have a playthrough, have a look at the piece. One thing I did during this time that I got given was not only did I have a quick run through of the pieces, I actually sang the melody just to give me an idea of what this would sound like. I think that really helped. I played it perfectly pretty much in the warm up, but then as soon as he said, "Okay, we're ready for it," I ended up missing out. I think a bar and a half of the left hand, but because I kept the pulse going, I got quite a high mark. I think I got 17 out of 21. Whereas if I would have stopped and gone back to correct the notes I missed, it would have been a much lower mark, because the main thing they're looking for in the sight reading test is, can you keep that steady pulse? So even though I was disappointed not to have done better on it, which I know I could have done better considering the tests that I have done in preparation for this exam have been a lot harder, I'm still happy that I carried on going. And that's the same for performances, really. When you make mistakes in like a live performance, the best thing you can do is just keep going and try and keep that steady pulse. So yeah, I was really happy with how that went. And then we moved on to the oral part of the exam. This was something that I have to admit I did not prepare for at all. I think it wasn't until 2 weeks before my exam that I actually started properly practicing for this part of the exam. It's something that I've put off. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And the exam date creeps up on me. I was like, oh no, I've got to do this. One of the main things I was stressed about was the first part of the exam where they ask you what is it in 2 time, 3 time, or 4 time, and you've got to clap the rhythm, clap the pulse, emphasising the strong beats. And as I practiced it did get easier, but it was something. The thing that I was stressed about for the exam, I wasn't as much stressed over my scales and pieces because I'd prepared quite well. I practiced every single day. It was more of the stuff that wasn't really in my control. I didn't know what to expect from the sight reading. I didn't know what to expect from the oral tests. So yeah, I could practice, but it wasn't something that I was 100% in control of, 100% in control with. So we did the oral. He started playing the piece. I knew straight away it was in 4 time. He was hammering that first beat, so I knew straight away I'd got that right. The echoes, definitely not my strong point, but I am getting better at it. I've started to, when practicing my scales, I've started to sing my scales as well. So I'm able to practice my intervals. This is something my teachers taught me, and I'm starting to implement it more into my practice. So I think it's going to be important as I do more of these exams. And then the differences and the differences and the musical features I got right as well. but after the exam, I was so stressed. I was confident. I was more confident than I was about the grade 2 exam. I remember coming out of the grade 2 exam last year, and I was so disappointed. Because at every exam I've done, I've got a distinction on. I was like, I want all distinctions. I think I've done 7 exams now, and I've got distinction, including this one. I've done 7 exams and I've got 7 distinctions. So I don't want to lose the streak. But yeah, I was so stressed, and then I think I spent the next 2.5 days, like adding up like what I think I got, and I kept coming out with like 128, between 128 and 131. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a merit here because it's 130 for a distinction. And then the mark form came through at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it came through a distinction. I got 140 out of 150, only dropped 10 marks. So I was absolutely over the moon with that. 140 out of 150. But yeah, I've already started now on my grade 4 preparation for my grade 4 exam. I am planning on taking it probably roughly the same time next year. Started working on the first piece. I'm debating. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm going to be ready. I'm maybe be ready by July. We'll see where we're at. But at the moment, the goal is to take it in the winter session for next year. I'm also next year wanting to do the jazz grades. I see ABRSM have now introduced performance exams for the jazz grades, where before they only had the practical ones, and you couldn't go to an exam. They didn't hold these the same as regular exams. You had to book like a private visit. And from what I'd seen on the website, there wasn't much availability. So I think it's likely that I'll be doing a jazz performance exam next year. It's something different. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good to explore different styles, so it should be good. One thing I'm also doing, starting this month, is going to piano meetups. There's a scene online. There's a few piano meetups local to me in Liverpool and Manchester. So these are where you meet up with people who also play the piano, and it gives me the opportunity to perform in front of them. Because I still struggle with performance anxiety. Like whenever I'm performing, public pianos aren't really an issue. It's more when I'm playing at a recital, when the audience is looking at me, like all the focus and attention is on me. That's when I start to feel the shakes and the tension starts. But I think I'll be performing now, if going to these meetups at least once a month. So it'll give me many more opportunities to perform and get that performance experience. I think the more I do it, the more I'll get comfortable with it. I'm not sure the anxiety will go away, but I think it'll get easier to control the nerves. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.